So I went up to the food bank, and it was just a few things I needed to talk about since I recorded this morning. But it's been like a whole day since I recorded, seriously, because I start so early. Um, but so one of the things is, as soon as I finished recording and talked about what I talked about, I think it was, I'm positive I talked some about it today, but I've been talking about it for the last few days, I think. But this, whatever DNA manipulation that's going on, and how these people somehow are in the movies and stuff like that. And, one thing too, don't forget that they could be getting this stuff long ago. Like, they've been cloning since the 40s, and it could be even before that. So, any movie stars from the beginning of time, I'm sure they probably got fucking Charlie Chaplin's DNA. I'm sure they just go scrape it off something and they got it, and then they go make another one. So that's how these people think of us. Just make another one. And there's two of you, so they don't give a fuck. But there was this show that came on, I think I can't remember what channel, but it popped up on my thing, and it said about the doppelganger stars and these celebrities that have a twin and stuff. So it was funny. I watched it because it was like, oh my gosh, this is what I was just talking about. And it's weird. It's weird. There's something going on, no doubt about it. But then there's been so many things that I talked about, like right after, and I was talking about the chi and the exercises and these things. If you listen to your body, even if you feel whacking or doing just weird stuff, there is something your soul is trying to tell you. Do this, do this. It's kind of getting hot now. It's been so fucking cold. That is one of the things too, that when I was up there, I cannot fucking manage small talk anymore. Oh, God. It just is so fucking cringy, and I'm sure I'm just sitting there looking at these people. They can't see because I have my sunglasses on, but I'm sure I'm just glaring at them like, oh my God, seriously? This is all you got? This is all you got? Talking about this Indian summer we got going here. So, yeah. Oh, there was another thing too. There was a couple people ahead of me, and he was asking, why are you still doing all the Dovik stuff? And I'm trying to watch for the UPS guy and send that thing back so I don't have to drive to town. Oh, that's not it. Anyways, so he was asking him about it, and he is just like, well, I'd like to go back to Okanagan where it's better. And it's a place right over here by the mountains. I'm pretty sure it's Okanagan, but then they started arguing back and forth over the Okanagan, like, and he said, no, the one that's just here. And, but it's up in the mountains, so it doesn't have, it's just more kind of isolated, does not going to follow the rules. That's the thing. The further you get out from the rule makers, the less you're likely to follow the rules. And they know that. That's what the herding is all about. So, he was saying something about that, and he was making good comments and stuff. He wasn't saying anything wrong, and I didn't take it. I didn't perceive anything weird. And then when he went in, the one lady who always does the door to the next lady who was in front of me or behind me, she goes, well, I'll buy him the ticket. It's like, get the fuck out, dude. And it's just like, oh my God, the meanness and bitterness that people, in the snappy little bullshit people say behind people's backs. It's just like really sickening energy, really sickening. And it was everything in me to hold back while I was up there. And so that's why I was like, I gotta go record. I'm like, oh, because as I was walking up, there was a table set up and a woman out with a clipboard, and she's all red, white, and blue and stuff, but I still didn't click what she was. As I start walking up, she's like, oh, are you registered to vote? And I was like, oh, no, I don't vote. And she goes, oh, okay. Like I was the scum of the earth. And then, she's getting people to register. She's getting people, hell yeah, I do. Oh, shit. I'm in fucking Washington State. We've been fucking mail-in ballot since I don't even know when. I don't even know. I think 20 years at least we've been mail-in ballot. And there has been people placed. We have people all the time like, nobody voted for this person. How are they in there? All the time. All the time. So It's some bullshit. And I have voted every fucking year since my very first opportunity. And I voted for Jimmy Carter. I voted for ever since, up until even last year. Yeah, because last year was the first time I ever voted for Trump. I voted for Trump as a registered Democrat. So I don't even think they counted my vote. But, I was just like, this is, and I tried to change my registration, but that was the whole thing. They weren't letting people. So I just did my vote. But, anyways, I was the first time I ever voted in that way. But there's no fucking way I would give a vote for Joe. I don't care how many celebrities come out and say, oh, he's the great guy. It's like, you're paid. You are paid to say that. There's no fucking way. Anybody with any goddamn logical sense, any fucking awareness in the world knows that guy is like, well, you could see right away. It was not even the real Joe. Like, you saw that, what the fucking election was going. It was like, okay, this is some bullshit, especially because you already knew what they did to HRC and Bernie and that whole situation. So I was like, no, fuck off. I was like, no fucking way, I'm done. It was before they ever even came out and said all of the cheating and shit. I already saw that they were cheating. So I really was wanting to go back over to that lady and say, hey, I want to clarify something with you, lady. And tell her, I have voted since 1980. Every fucking year, every single election I have voted for. And it ends now. No more. And I don't need to be governed. And I'm not going to put that energy into picking who's going to be over me from all these corrupt people when they're still going to put in who they want to put in anyways. It's like, it's mental. I don't get it at all. And I wanted to go over and see it. It was just like holding back and holding back and holding back. And then these people are just small talk about just, oh, let's talk about the weather. Then they're bitter about this guy because he's talking about like more relaxed rules and regulations in a smaller place. And it's just like, and this place is tiny. And they are still like, oh, we got rules. We got rules, but I'm surprised they're still not. But the people who are working there, they walk around like that. All over the place. I don't know about in other places where other people are, but here in Washington State, it doesn't matter. There's no reason to wear it. It's like, still, you never know. So it's just fucking mental. But one of the things, though, I wanted to talk about, too, was that, the whole thing with Stella and wanting to be able to go out and do stuff, but her being too sick and just kind of, this was my plan. I was going to just be out on the road all summer. And now it's getting to fall and the pass is going to be closing. And she just now is being able to even get back into the car. So then I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to be here through another fucking hard winter, I guess. And, I'm not going to get to travel much, but I would still rather spend my time with her. Even the other day, somebody told me about this bluegrass festival, and I had seen them sharing this band out playing on the ocean. You could see the ocean behind, or they could have been on a lake, but since we're on the coast, I just was assuming it was ocean. I'm pretty sure they were at a bay, but I was like, oh man, that's my favorite. Live music and sitting on the ocean. Oh my God. And, so she goes, oh, well, I think there's Bluegrass Festival this weekend because it's Labor Day weekend. I didn't even think about that, And so I looked it up and stuff, and I was like, oh, that would be so fun. You go up there and listen to the band, and, but there's a whole bunch of bands. It was a festival. So, and then, I don't know. It was just something about like, okay, I love to get dressed up. I love to go listen to music, and I always can find people to talk to. I've done so much stuff by myself. That's not the issue. But it was like, I just don't want to go. If my time is limited with her, I don't want to go spend it with a stranger like that, like just making small talk, because what's the likelihood I'm going to find somebody who wants to talk about anything real or what's really going on in this world? Not likely. And since that's the only thing I can think about, it's just like, I'd rather sit here with Stella. I'd rather have my time with her. And, I don't even, so anyways, I had been talking to my daughter after her dog got cancer and saying, well, let's, if you're going to go, because she wanted to take her dog to the ocean and to the farm before her dog died. And so I said, well, if you're going to go over there, I will go over and meet you again. Or I'll go meet you, because Stella loved it so much. And she just keeps crying and stuff. And I know she's lonely and wants to go back. That was just I mean, I was dog heaven, seriously. And so, she said, she let me know or whatever. And then she told me this morning, and it was weird. And I know this is a trigger day. So that's why I just like, oh, I got to go in and talk about a few of these things. So today is a trigger day for me. And, so and you never know when they're coming and you never know how. And it's at first you'll feel fragile and stuff. Like to me, I'm on a whole nother level at this point. It's like I welcome them. I want to purge it all out. I know I'm going to feel better after. So I just, release. So I want to release it all. But at first it's hard. Yeah. You'll be like, no, I'll just do something different. I'm not going to think about this. I don't want to cry all day, and stuff like that. So I say power through. Give yourself a day at least and face this stuff, whatever it is. And you don't even know because it's already coming up and I'm not even sure yet. I've had several crying bouts already. And, but I was looking at the clock and I was like, oh, I just got to run up there because every time I keep looking at the thing and it keeps being on my mind, I'm supposed to go do it. And I did get some great stuff, some good stuff. Got some corn and some eggplant, and so I'm really excited about that. And fresh corn on the cob, and it's so good cooked on the grill. But anyway, so I was excited about that. And keep having gratitude for everything. Any small thing, I keep noticing how important it is to just be so excited. Yesterday afternoon, I went and took her to the lake for the walk, and while we were out, I filled up the water jugs, and there's a little tiny weed store right there, and I usually don't go in because there's a snobby girl that works there. And but I had $10 and I was like, and I'm out of joints, so I decided, I'll just stop up there, grab a couple, because payday is Friday. And so I did, and then I got my car, and I just felt so much gratitude. Like I had my water was full, my dog got to go for a walk, I got a day out at the lake, I had 2 joints. I was just like, I was feeling, just like, man, I'm a rich person. I'm so excited with life. And it is an energy that it doesn't matter how small, just get excited about it. Just like my daughter told me this morning, because she's over in Yakima now. One of the daughters is going to be both of them over there soon, but 2 daughters, 2 of them are still in Spokane. But so she was talking about they're 2 in Yakima are both pregnant, and this one, all of a sudden she couldn't pee, so she had to go to the emergency. They put in a catheter, and she's going in today to get it out. And so we've been having these conversations because I said, well, don't be surprised if it's hard to get going, because it's all neurological. Your body will start going, you start panicking, and you make it stop. You stop the firing of the domino effect, you hold it up. So I was explaining, just don't panic and stuff. And so we were talking about that, and she is just like, it's just these small things you don't think about that you need to appreciate until you don't have them, like being able to just go freely pee. She goes, it's horrible. I hate this catheter. It's horrible. It's uncomfortable. And you got to really appreciate the small things. And she goes, just like, I'm here in Yakima. It's just a total desert, and it's ugly and brown and dry. And she goes, and then, I just kept not appreciating Spokane and all of the beauty and the mountains and the green. Hold on. Hurry, please. So she was saying like that she appreciates, like I should have been appreciating it. I was like, yeah. So that was already, I'm telling you, I keep having these same things like coming at me, the same kind of information all the time, just like talking to her, and then I unpause the thing and they're talking about what we were talking about. This keeps happening. So she was just saying that about, you just got to appreciate things, and things that you don't even realize that you need to appreciate. So we all need to be more appreciative and have gratitude. And most of our time we spend on the energy of like, why me? And, this isn't fair, and that kind of stuff. That's where you want to pull it in, because you're creating that energy. You're creating it. And so come over and lay down, honey. And then, so there was another thing I wanted to say real quick. So let me think back where I was at. Okay, so there was something I wanted to say about the chi thing too. And after I went off of there and I went on TikTok, a girl was talking about this, the chi and the energy, and how we are the currency that is the energy. And it's like, yeah, is our energy that they use to do their work. They give us minimal amount, and then they inflate it so they can keep taking all of it back from us. So it's an empty system where we're being drained all the time. But you have to recognize that to want more for yourself and to pull free, and to know your own value, that you can build whatever you want. You can build a business. You can build anything you want. You just have to, go inside and figure it out. What are you good at? What are your desires? What are you here for? What do you want? And you have to deprogram yourself so you're not all caught up in what you're told you need to be and who you are and all of the nonsense, and always trying to people please and be what other people accept and stuff. So anyways, when I was talking to her, and I had said that I would want to go over and meet her, and so then she called this morning and she goes, well, oh, and plus in this morning, besides that, it was on my mind too. I was like, well, it's September, it's almost October, they're going to be closing the pass soon. I probably should go over to Spokane. I could paint my mom's mural, because the weather's been so extreme over there that it's been like in the hundreds, and it's down like I think like 80s now, 85 or something. So I was like, well, I could go over there and do that, and then I could see my daughter. She could come over there. The other one has moved away. The other one's not speaking to me and fixing to move, and the other one's not speaking to me. And it's so anyways, so I was like, well, so I sent her a message and sent my mom a message, I could come over this month and hang out or whatever. And so my one daughter wrote back and she goes, well, I'm going to go to the farm. So, but the other sister that's not speaking to you, she's going to go. So you can't go. And we're going to go. And that was the trigger. And I didn't even see it coming, because it wasn't that important to me or whatever. But for some reason, I had this traveling in the past and all this stuff on my mind this morning. And then she said that. And so it was an immediate trigger. And I wasn't even sure what was triggered. And so I said some stuff, and I know she wasn't understanding exactly what I was saying, but I know that in the future she will understand what I was saying. But right now she doesn't understand. But I know the future, and she doesn't know the future. So, she can know her own future, but she doesn't know mine. So anyways, she could have taken it wrong, what I said, I think she kind of did. And she's like, no, I'm coming. I'm just like, it's fine. Seriously. But so then, so I had this trigger and I had no idea. So I'm trying to, sit with it or whatever. And it keeps bringing up stuff. And I think it's about rejection, like this child's not speaking to you. So then you're kind of excommunicated out of the family. It just fractures the family when there's somebody who doesn't want to be around somebody else in the family. It just fractures the whole family. So anyways, I was processing kind of with that. And I, in that one show that I was watching about the movie stars that look exactly alike, that's freaky. And it was talking about two of them in this movie. And so I was like, oh, I want to see that movie. That looks kind of good. And kind of a thriller kind of movie. And so I went on Plex to look for it. When I went on Plex, I saw he had put in this Where the Crawdads Sing. And my daughter was here. She was telling me how excited she was that this movie came out, because she read the book and she was just so good. She loves it. And she's so excited. She couldn't wait till it came out. And so he put it on. And so I started watching it. And oh my God. Oh my God. I was triggered so hard. Oh my God. I was bawling my head off. And it's so crazy when you get hit. And so I paused it and I ran up to the food bank. But so I'm going to come back and unpause it and, really go into the feelings, because I want to purge them out. I want to release anything that is inside of me that is holding pain. I want it to release, because it restricts my perspective. It restricts my abilities to be present and in the moment. And so this had a part. This poor girl gets accused of murder because it's just that typical Twilight Zone story. The gang mentality, who decides that you're the enemy and, gang up on this person. And she comes from such poverty, and just this whole scene of her going to school and being hungry and being left alone. All of her family had abandoned her at this point. She's just left with this abusive alcoholic dad. Everybody else has run away, and she's just a little girl. And I'm going to start crying just thinking about it. This is going to be a good day. I'm going to release a lot of stuff because I'm about to restart this. But she is, she's so alone. It's just, oh man. So anyways, I don't know where I'm going with the whole thing, with the, the rejection, the fractured family, them putting this on, and the fractured family, and the rejection, and, what's the bus? I'm watching for the UPS. The fractured family, and then plus this little girl, when her traumatic incidents happen, she seems to be about the same age I was when it happened with me. Those things happen on purpose. When these things happen, you're not supposed to run from them like, oh, I'm going to turn that off. No, go into it. Let this stuff come up. And if it's confusing, sit with it. Meditate on it, or think about it, or ask. Show me, tell me, make it clear, give me clarity. What is it that I need to release here? Remind me. And usually you'll have little flashes of something that will, you'll be watching it and you'll get a flash of your own self, just like me seeing myself as a little girl and feeling so alone. It just is a lot of things, a whole lot of things. So anyways, I wanted to share that about the how it works, like a trigger, and like when you get to the point of welcoming. And I know that in the beginning it's very much like, that's why people go get a beer. They go and, focus on drama or something like that. They just release their focus from what it is they need to purge out, what it is they need to face in themselves. And I'm telling you, it's so much better to just spend the day crying. And I think the worst I've had in those kinds of triggers has been, I think, like 3 days straight of just crying. It's not like you go into it, you never come out, So just remember that. It's a temporary situation, and it is very healing. It's very cathartic, and you just release the pain and release the pressure, all of the energy that's inside of you. And, there is something to that girl, like her saying that right after I just did that cheat thing, when I had both things in my body and I could feel the energy around me. I could feel it building, and I was like, fuck, this cheat thing is no shit, man. So, and I've been doing those things for a long time, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I'm just listening to my body. I'm just following what my body says. And that's what I've been doing since I started talking about it. Mind, body, spirit, like really tap in. And that's why I say these people who are out there just putting all these chemicals like in their hair, and I'm not talking about just like a little makeup. I'm talking about like a lot of stuff caked on, and it's all full of chemicals. It's all full of chemicals. I put mascara on, and I think that is full of chemicals. But if I didn't have any on, you probably wouldn't even be able to see my eyes. So anyways, the whole thing is, to me, is like, it is mind, body, spirit. So your body is giving you signs and signals that something's up. And when you go into it and you start seeing, that's where you start realizing about the chemicals and what you're doing. And so that's why I say some of these super spirits, I'm not sure what it is. They're just like how, to me, the religious people are more focused on the religion rather than the Christ consciousness. And they're being misled with religion. And I feel like it's the same thing with the super spirits or the love and lights or whatever, that they are not truly mind, body, spirit focused. They're more focused on, it's like, I got the gear. I'm super spiritual. I got the gear. It's like, dude, that is not going to get you. That's not going to get you through those pearly gates. So anyways, there isn't like pearly gates we got to get through, but there is a progression to your soul, your vibration. Just like there's airwaves, there's a progression. Your frequency will go up, and you will feel better because you will feel lighter. And so it is that elevation, because the pain and the suffering and all of the trauma we carry is heavy. It's dense. That's why it's here. And that's why us moving is why it has to be released. If you hold on to it, you're going to stay down here. If you want to release it, that's what elevates you. That's what moves you up. That's what moves you into that Christ consciousness 5D kind of perspective on life, which changes everything. It is that gratitude for the small things and remembering about time and what to do with it. And you are energy, and what you put out comes back to you. So anyways, I just wanted to talk about a few of those things. I'm so much focused on this UPS guy. I really want to run out there and give him my box so I don't have to. Now they're telling us we have to pay $8 to have UPS pick up our package. So we have to pay them, and or we have to drive it to town ourselves. The price of gas. But our UPS guy's so nice. You go out there and you're like, hey, he always walks up. Hey, Kelly, how you doing? That's the cool thing about being in a place and a community. You just know, like, you have connections with people. And that is what people are missing. And they're so starved for connection. That's the whole thing with social media. They're looking for something. They're looking for connection. Connection's been taken from us when they divided up the little towns, when they started fracturing families and towns and moving us into the biggest cities that they could get us into. Then we started, trying to become safe, blocking ourselves off from others, protecting ourselves, sometimes with our weight, sometimes with our homes, sometimes with weapons, sometimes with animals. Like, we all have our way of feeling safe. And so it's become so much about fear and safety. And it's moved away from community and engagement and, connection. So we're going to go back to it. This is just a process. So it's kind of like getting the catheter, like, so we can remember, like, oh, what this was like. We've been through this. That's the point of learning. That's the point of experience. We've been through this. We don't want this. We're going for something better. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. I got to get back to my triggers. Tomorrow I'll feel purged and I'll tell you what all came up, or, I'll talk about it. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.